Hey there, welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct from the studios here at Menara Star in PJ. My name is Nelsen. Joining me today, Zack, Yusof, and our super sub, Mr. Aaron Raj, in place of our beloved Daryl Goh, who unfortunately had an ankle injury in the warm-up.
I heard it was the metatarsal, mate.
Right, left or right, mate?
It was the right one.
Yeah. Poor Daryl. Well, good to have you with us, Aaron. I tell you what a weekend of football it was, right? I mean, so many great games to dissect. So we'll start quickly with Chelsea's 3-0 win over Bolton at the Bridge. Bolton held their own in the first half, Zack. I mean, it was 0-0, you know. I mean, tell you what, but the win at least eased some of the pressure on AVB, you think, Zack?
Yeah, it did. And one of the rarest of things happened that game, David Luiz actually did something right.
Right.
He scored a really decent goal. And, you know, you saw Frank Lampard also.
Right. And they managed to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, having a point to prove to AVB and getting on the score sheet. So all in all, a much needed victory for Chelsea then.
Right. Meanwhile, a cracker at the Emirates saw Arsenal come from 2 goals down to thrash arch-rivals Spurs by 5 goals to 2. I can see you smiling, Aaron. Well, I mean, just like AVB, Wenger has been under fire as well, right? And although they're still 7 points behind Spurs, you know, in the race for third or fourth, actually, great performance by the Gunners, right?
Yeah, actually, it was a very good performance. When we were 2-0 down, I was already like, you know, wanting to not watch the game because like we were playing rubbish.
And here we go again, right?
Yeah, it's here we go again. But then the comeback, the spirit among the team, the whole, to get together and play together and
score the
again.
kind of goals they did.
Yeah, to get draw at halftime and then to come back and score immediately when the game started. I think it really increased the pace of the game as well.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing to see Theo Walcott. I mean, I watched the game. He was getting a lot of stick.
And he blows hot and cold, right?
Yeah. He does blow hot and cold, but that game he actually took all the stick and turned it into something productive because it really fired him up.
Right.
So,
they
got the goals at the right time.
At the right time,
well.
exactly.
You know, Rosicky made it 3 really soon after.
Great goal,
great
game that they Rosicky.
So kudos to Arsenal. Well, and speaking of great performances, 2 of United's greatest helped United to a 2-1 win at Norwich City. I mean, Zack, after Scholes had given United the lead, you know, Paul Lambert's team equalised, and I tell you what, the game looked to be heading for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, United.
Until the evergreen Giggs popped up with the all-important winner.
Game,
yeah, right.
His 9,000th goal or something. But I tell you what, United were really lucky in that game. I thought Paul Lambert's
Fergie admitted
boys,
they were lucky, right?
Yeah, they played really well, and you know your man David De Gea, he actually kept you guys
right?
he kept you guys in the game. But what can you say about Giggs, right? I mean, you run out of superlatives to talk about this man. I mean, he's played in every Premier League season. He's scored in every Premier League season. He's won another 1-year contract. I think he's going to play until he's 55, mate.
Right. Well, I mean, Zack, quickly, I mean, how important was this win for United, especially after Man City, quite easily beat Blackburn?
Yeah,
at the Etihad?
It's huge, you know, because at the end of the day, it keeps them 2 points within City.
Touching distance, right?
Like I think I read an article today where Fergie says if United manage to survive the Spurs game this weekend, which we'll be talking about later, they're in with a great chance for the league, and I do believe that because what they want is to go and play City at the Etihad as close as possible points-wise.
Right. Okay, well, at Wembley, the first major cup final of the season saw much drama as Liverpool needed a penalty shootout to defeat a stubborn Cardiff City in winning the Carling Cup. I mean, Aaron, they sure did it the hard way, but at least they did it, right?
Yeah, they did it. When I was watching the game, I mean, reminded me of the Carling Cup final last year, where Arsenal lost as well in the final. But Liverpool did play a very strong team, and like Cardiff was also a good team. So I guess there was a bit of luck as well into Liverpool.
But you need that kind of luck.
Yeah, you need that kind of luck in football.
Dalglish and the rest of the Liverpool board say that this Carling Cup win has signalled, you know, the start of a new era in which the club can hopefully return to their winning ways. I mean, would you agree, Zack?
Well, I mean, let's hope not. No, I mean, speaking as an Evertonian aside, I mean, it is a trophy, and you know it's the first trophy that they've won in 6 years, so it's always good to sort of break that jinx. But I have to tell you, that game, we actually saw just how ineffective Henderson can be. I mean, yet again, you know, Kenny starts with all these big name signings, and this lad flatters the deceiver again. They were much different when Bellamy come on. They were a different team altogether, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, if it's not one Gerrard, it's another, right?
Yeah, you think it was kind of set up, maybe, you know. But I mean, Aaron, I've got to ask you.
Kudos to Liverpool.
I mean, is Dalglish leading the Reds in the right direction, in your opinion?
He's leading the right direction. He's already won 1 trophy. They may not be in Europe, but
the
they
Mickey
can.
Mouse trophy, right?
Well, Dirk Kuyt differs in that opinion, right? He says it's not a Mickey Mouse Cup, right?
Dirk Kuyt, you know, he's a winner and he wants to win trophies, and he's been on the end of a lot of cup final defeats in
Right,
his Liverpool
true,
days.
yes.
So, he desperately wants something, and I think I read that he was really disappointed because he didn't start. He had about 45 family members in the audience, and he only got to play 15 minutes. But what a 15 minutes it was!
Right.
At the end, a trophy is still a trophy.
Yeah.
Right, and they're now eyeing the FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're in the
Exactly.
Europa,
Right.
which means more slots for the rest of us.
Right, well, we'll be speaking about Liverpool in the next segment of the show, but it is time for a quick break here on Football Everyday. We'll be right back. Take a look at this week's eye-catching fixtures in just a bit, so see you real soon. Welcome back to Football Everyday here in the second and final segment of today's episode. Alright guys, I'm getting right into this weekend's fixtures. The early kickoff on Saturday sees Liverpool entertain Arsenal at Anfield. I mean, they might have just won the Carling Cup, right Aaron? But in the league, they're still 7 points behind the Gunners. I mean, so this really is a must-win for the
It's a
Reds,
must-win,
right?
yeah, for the Reds and also for us. Because we want, okay, we are in 4th place, but if we want to catch up with Spurs and finish higher than them, we need the win.
Right.
Especially with Spurs playing MU on Sunday.
With how they played against Spurs, do you think it's possible for Gunners to go to Anfield and win?
I think it's possible for us to go to and win. Yeah, we want to go and win there. But of course, Liverpool will also be, they'll be still in their happy mode right after the Carling Cup.
Right.
So maybe they may not be that prepared. Yeah.
Consistency is the key with
Yeah,
Arsenal, right?
yeah,
We've
true.
seen that
That as well.
they can go to Stamford Bridge and do Chelsea.
Yeah, 5 goals
and then
there.
they can mess up against like
Swansea.
Blackburn
Swansea, right,
or Swansea.
Right,
So I think the whole problem this season has been consistency. So let's see if they can string 2 great results back
But
to
Zack,
back.
looking at where Arsenal and Liverpool are in the table, and looking at their seasons so far, does anything kind of separate these two teams on paper, in your opinion?
The fact is that both of them have been really inconsistent. I mean, you can only point to Liverpool's home record, right? 12 draws at Anfield.
Yep.
That's not a successful season for a team like Liverpool's
So the
stature.
Gunners will be
And
encouraged by that
similarly,
fact, right?
Gunners. I mean, this year we've
play
seen
away,
them. We've seen them
really
mess
bad
up
away.
both home and away.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But what would you call it, Zack?
I would call this a narrow Arsenal win, mate.
Wow. So
I think Arsenal got more quality.
Aaron's going to buy you a drink, man.
He will have to buy me a
Yeah.
drink.
Well,
Yeah. Sorry, Daryl.
Meanwhile, Chelsea will hope to keep their resurgence as they travel to West Brom, who are fresh from thrashing Martin O'Neill's Sunderland by 4 goals to nothing last weekend. I mean, Aaron, can you see the Blues putting one over Roy Hodgson's men?
Oh, definitely.
And the Hawthorns?
Yeah. But I don't know. It depends
I mean,
really.
is it going to be that straightforward?
It might be, but
You know what I mean? Chelsea.
I don't know. It's hard to
it's
call
just
it.
one
hard,
game.
yeah,
You've got a
exactly.
resurgent West Brom.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been slowly putting together a lot of good performances, and it's coincided with the return to form of Odin Wingate, right?
Yep.
This is a shadow of a person that started the season in dispute with his coach. He's got a mysterious injury. This guy has scored in his last 3 games, a hat trick even, right? So
you never know, right?
It's got 2 goals.
I think West Brom are looking good at the moment,
Right.
right?
Well,
it's going to be a tricky one.
All right. Well, over at Loftus Road, Everton pay a visit to Queen's Park Rangers. I mean, Zack, your team had a rest last weekend. I mean, so could this work in their favour? Though, QPR will be eager to bounce back from their loss to Fulham.
Correct, yeah. And they've still yet to really hit the high notes with new manager and everyone and all their heaps of new signings.
Yep.
They seem to keep shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, last week we saw their new player, the French guy whose name escapes me, get a straight red, right?
Yep.
So, we've seen Cisse get reds as well. But, all in all, you're talking about this break for Everton. I think during this time of the year, it could work to Everton's favour.
So, I mean, would Everton fans be happy with the draw?
No, I think
as
an Everton fan would tell you, opening game of the season, lose at home to QPR at Goodison Park. So I think there's some paying back to be done.
Right.
I see Everton, who's in form at the moment.
So you think they're going to do it then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. At the Sports Direct Arena, the Tyne-Wear derby takes place with Newcastle locking horns against Sunderland. The Magpies threw away a 2-goal lead against Wolves last weekend. I mean, while Sunderland themselves, as we said earlier, suffered a 4-0 thrashing. So this is going to be an interesting contest, right?
Yeah, definitely. Newcastle will surely want to come back and get the points as well.
Right.
They feel themselves going off the pace from the
from
top
from
4
how they started
and the
the
top
season,
5.
right?
Yeah. So they want to catch up as well.
Zack,
so I
would you
think we can
agree
see
with Aaron's
Newcastle-
Well,
assessment?
this one, if you know the Northeast, this is as big as it
Yeah,
gets. This is
exactly.
like the cup final for both these teams,
Right.
and we've seen managers be under pressure from these teams. I haven't
Right.
lost this particular game. Steve Bruce, main reason why he really got the sack was because of the
They didn't do
abject
well
performance
in this,
the first time
derbies,
round.
right?
So Sunderland really got a lot to prove. I think O'Neill knows just how much is at stake. So it's going to be a great game.
Right. Well, okay. And at White Hart Lane, I tell you what, the big one this weekend sees third place Spurs come up against Man United. Spurs are reeling from their capitulation against Arsenal last weekend. I mean, while United seem to still have that grit and tenacity to win games, so what do you see happening in this one?
I think Spurs are going to lose the game.
Well, I hope so.
Because it's like they're starting to come back down to earth, and it's like the beginning of their fall.
Right.
You see, if they lose and we win and Chelsea win, Arsenal and Chelsea win,
Right.
the points will be only reduced to 4.
Right.
And
But Spurs
they don't
can't
feel the
afford to
pressure.
lose.
Yeah, they can't
a lot
afford
of
to
Spurs
lose.
fans were talking about the great choke of 2009. When they were like aiming for
Yeah,
it was the lasagna gate year. Remember?
Yeah, right.
They're down to the last game and they ate some dodgy food.
They all got food.
Yeah,
Good
so
point,
Spurs,
yeah.
have a history of choking at the last hurdle.
Right. Well, Zack, Rafael van der Vaart says they'll survive and bounce back from their derby thrashing. But do you think they can start doing so against United?
Well, you know what? I mean, over the years, we've seen Spurs practically hand the points to United on a plate. They don't seem to relish playing Man United. I think a lot of them seem to be in awe of United. Almost.
Yep.
Certainly, Harry Redknapp is a big fan of Alex Ferguson,
Right.
maybe even to a detrimental point. So I see this as a United win, mate.
And it is important for United to win because City play Bolton at home, and that's more or less a
United-
foregone
United
conclusion,
play
right?
really well against teams who want to play football, right?
Right,
You know,
right.
Spurs fancy themselves as a flamboyant attacking team. United could rip them apart, mate.
Well, I hope you're right. But thanks a lot for your thoughts, guys. Pleasure as usual. Before we bid you goodbye, quick shout out. Do join our Take Your Best Shot contest that's available at football.thestar.com.my as loads of great monthly prizes up for grabs from Tiger FC, SenQ and Adidas on top of FA Cup final tickets, courtesy of Astro and Emirates. So you want to drop us a line, send it to us at football@thestar.com.my. That's about all the time we have on today's episode of Football Every Day. Guys, pleasure it's been. Do enjoy your football. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Ciao.
All right.